Welcome, folks. Today we're diving into this major controversy involving Rockstar games and some serious union issues.
Absolutely, it's a pretty intense situation. What's the crux of what's going on here?
Well, it seems that over 30 coders and graphic designers were let go following their participation in a private Discord channel that was used for union organizing and discussion of workplace improvements.
Mm-hmm.
The Independent Workers' Union of Great Britain, IWGB, is calling this the most blatant act of union busting in the gaming industry's history.
That's a huge claim. I mean, can you imagine being part of a community just to make your workplace better and then, bam, you're fired?
Exactly. The IWGB argues that the laid off employees were discussing how to truly enhance their work environment. Rather than addressing their concerns, management allegedly terminated everyone associated with the Discord group after they found out about it,
Right.
which sounds pretty severe in itself.
Yeah, and there's also that aspect of union recognition, right? UK legislation requires a union to have at least 10% membership in the bargaining unit. How does that factor in here?
Indeed, there's been some chatter that there might have just been enough union members to hit that threshold. Essentially, the employees' organization via Discord could have been a stepping stone towards official union
Mm-hmm.
recognition, and that, as you can imagine, alarms management.
For sure. But then there's the official line from Take-Two Interactive, Rockstar's parent company. They claim these terminations were due to gross misconduct. What do you make of that?
Well, that's the conflicting narrative. On one hand, we have IWGB's strong accusation that it's pure union busting to preempt union recognition. And on the other, Take Two stating that it was about
Mm-hmm.
individual misconduct. It's like two sides of the same coin with very different spins.
Right, and if you ask me, it's not just about misconduct in isolation. If the sole catalyst was the union discussions, then the charge of misconduct smells a bit like a pretext to suppress collective bargaining efforts.
I see your point, and you have to consider that this isn't coming out of nowhere. Rockstar has been under scrutiny for its work practices for a while, like that mandatory 5-day return to office policy and those infamous crunch times that have left many employees burnt out.
Yep.
A history of intense working conditions adds even more weight to this controversy.
Yeah, the return to office move was justified on the grounds of productivity and security, especially with the leak of in development code for Grand Theft Auto 6. But could that also be a tactic to control the workforce more tightly?
That's a valid question. It's like saying you need a tight ship for security, but in doing so, you might be stifling the very voices that highlight
Mm-hmm.
issues needing improvement. It does raise questions about balance between control and worker autonomy.
Exactly. And the IWGB's president, Alex Marshall, didn't mince words, calling it not only brutal but an affront, especially when you consider that Grand Theft Auto 6 is expected to generate billions.
Right. Marshall went so far as to say that money appears to have trumped people. It's like, if you have a product that's successful, you'd imagine the well being of the creators would be a priority, but clearly that's in question here.
Hmm.
It's definitely the classic conflict between profit and people.
And here's where one might respectfully challenge the narrative. How do we balance the need for accountability for behaviors that might cause internal discord with the legitimate rights of workers to organize?
That's a fair point. On one hand, companies do need to maintain standards, but on the other, the suppression of union discussions, if that really was the sole motive, crosses an ethical and legal line. It's a delicate balance, and here, the scales seem to tip harshly towards corporate suppression.
It is a slippery slope. When management starts labeling union activities as misconduct, it can discourage any genuine concerns about workplace issues. Person 2.
Yeah, it's like discouraging open dialogue. And consider the context within the gaming industry's historical labor practices. There's been long standing issues with crunch time and excessive pressures.
Absolutely. And the backlash from the community is palpable. Fans aren't just interested in big game revenues, they care about how the people behind the scenes are treated, right?
Exactly. When you have a studio that pulls in billions from a franchise, the expectation is that its success translates to better, fairer treatment of its employees.
Right.
But given these layoffs, It seems more like profits are prioritized over people.
And that's where things get even messier. You have Take Two touting a positive work environment and a culture of teamwork and kindness, but then you're hearing allegations of union busting and harsh work conditions. How does one reconcile that?
Well, it's somewhat ironic. It's like saying you're a family that cares, but then taking drastic actions that undermine trust. The
Mm-hmm.
disparity is quite stark.
Certainly, and these events also put a spotlight on the broader industry. If such a celebrated studio, known for its blockbuster titles, is engaging in these practices, what might that mean for smaller studios or even the industry as a whole?
It sets a concerning precedent. It might signal that when it comes to labor rights, even the giants aren't immune to cutting corners, sometimes in the name of security or performance.
Yep.
And that's not a good message for aspiring developers or union organizers in the digital space.
Right. And speaking of digital spaces, the use of Discord itself as a platform for union discussions is fascinating. It's like technology enabling collective organization, which in turn disrupts traditional management controls.
Absolutely. It's like a modern coffee house where ideas flow freely, and then suddenly management clamps down on that
Mm-hmm.
space. It really makes you ponder the role of tech in labor organizing.
And then there's the reaction from the fans and the broader gaming community. There's a growing sentiment that companies should embrace worker rights rather than crush them, especially in creative industries where burnout is already rampant.
Right, you are. It's like the community expects the same level of commitment to creativity in how workers are treated. The criticism isn't just legal, it's moral, too.
Hmm.
It's a call for accountability.
And it does raise an interesting question. How do you think Rockstar could address these concerns moving forward?
Well, one possible avenue is to, engage in genuine dialogue with worker representatives, perhaps even revisiting that union channel and ensuring employees feel heard.
Hmm.
Transparency could go a long way.
I agree, but wouldn't that require a significant cultural shift at the top? If management is deeply entrenched in a profit over people mindset, then structural changes might be needed.
That's true. It might require rethinking internal policies entirely, moving away from rigid, punitive measures, and instead fostering an environment where union discussions are not only tolerated, but integrated as part of improving workplace
Yeah.
conditions. That would be a massive yet positive change.
And if you think about the impact on the industry, such a change could set a ripple effect. Studios might feel compelled to review their own labor practices when a high profile case like this unfolds.
Exactly. It's like throwing a stone in a pond. One rippling effect can challenge outdated norms across the board. The
Hmm.
potential for a wider, industry wide reform is very real.
Now, one thing that I find intriguing is Rockstar's previous efforts to improve conditions. They reportedly made strides before enforcing that strict return to office policy. How do you see that fitting into the narrative?
Well, that's an interesting twist. It suggests that there might have been a window where conditions were getting better, and then management reversed course, perhaps due
Yep.
to external pressures, security concerns, or even internal shifts in policy priorities.
It almost seems like a step backward, especially when you've already begun to recognize that remote working was beneficial in many ways.
Exactly. And that regression only adds fuel to the fire for those calling this union busting. It underscores a reluctance to embrace alternative work models that many employees find more sustainable.
Hmm.
Clearly, a decision that's stirring quite the debate.
As we wrap up, it seems the heart of the matter is a clash between traditional corporate control and the growing movement for workers' rights to organize freely and be heard.
Precisely. This case with Rockstar isn't just about a handful of layoffs. It represents a broader, urgent conversation about what it means to value creativity, labor, and fairness in our modern digital economies. It's a conversation we need to
Yeah.
have.
Definitely, whether it's in gaming or any other industry, the balance between profit and people is a timeless issue that we're likely to see play out in many forms in the future.
And as always, transparency, dialogue, and mutual respect could pave the way for healthier work environments
Hmm.
across the board. Let's hope this sparks more conversation and real change.
Thanks for the engaging discussion. It's always enlightening to break down these complex issues.
Likewise, and thanks to everyone for tuning in. Until next time, keep questioning, keep exploring, and keep pushing for a fairer world.